Thank you very much, and thank you very much for inviting me to this conference. So, I'm the deputy of unit of the unit which is dealing with the data strategy in the European Commission, and actually I'm as education an electronic engineer with also a PhD on artificial intelligence. So I'm sure that you would expect me to say that all the issues and the problems that we are going to have in identifying, diagnosing cancer at an earlier stage will be solved by artificial intelligence. But actually, since exactly I am an expert on artificial intelligence, I'm going to say that that's not true. And we will need, of course, always the experience and the support and the work of experienced specialists in cancer for diagnosing them at an earlier stage and for curing them. What can we do with digital technologies, and what can we do by using all the data that is collected on treating this illness, but also on collecting other information related to patients. What we can do and what we want to do in the commission is really to make possible to share this data. And this is why the Commission has launched the data strategy, which is covering not only health data, but also data from all the other sectors. But one of the sector and one of the major activities is exactly health. And there we announced and we are planning to build and create a European health data spaces with two main objectives. The first objective is to favor and give the possibility to patients to have their health record accessible everywhere in Europe, so that if they move from one place to the other, they will have all their history available to be presented to the doctor that will cure them. And this is already a great advantage, because then all the doctor that will cure the patients will have their full history at hand, and will be able to take decision based also on the history of the patients. But then there is also what we call the secondary use of this data. What we are planning to do is again make available this data under specific condition that will protect the privacy of the patients for a secondary use. So to promote and the research on these fields, especially in cancer or in finding cures for cancer. And that one is again another aspect that we are trying to cover, and that we are trying to identify technologies, mechanism, so that this will be possible. This is why, for example, we have just launched a project that is planning to make available 60 million of annotated cancer images from more than 100,000 patients for research purposes. And where the Hellenic Cancer Society is a partner of this project, so it will be possible also for the Greek community and research community, medicine community, to participate in this project and have access to this data. On top of it, what we are also doing in a broader sense is also doing activities, and we've done a regulation which is called the Data Governance Act regulation, which is promoting also another aspect that I want to mention, because it's really important, from my opinion, also in the research, in cancer research, but also in the medical research, which is the concept on promoting the creation of what we call data altruism organization, trusted data altruism organization. What we hope is to promote the emergence of these organizations that will have the capability of collecting the data of data donors. What do I mean? There is we've seen that there is quite an interest from citizens, for example, patients, to donate their data for specific purposes. But the major issues is to know to whom to donate them and to identify an organization that you can trust. What we want to do, what we have decided, and what the council and the parliament has decided, is to promote this new organization, which is will be called the data management organization, that will have to be registered in national registers, that will have then the possibility of collecting this data, to whom anybody can donate their own data, and they can make available this data, for example, for research purposes. Why is it so important? Because if I'm donating my data, that means that, for example, I do not have to anonymize that data, and that I might have from several patients or for several people, even healthy people, the full collection of the data, that is the entire history again, so the medical history, but also it might contain other type of data, for example, where the patient lives and which are his or her way of living, style of living, which is again extremely interested, in my opinion, in order to conduct research that also take into account all the other various aspects, and not only the medical exams and the medical results, that in order to study this type of illnesses. And this is one thing that we are going to promote. You are saying, well, they will find very few people that um, will be able, will be willing to donate the data. But let me remind you that in Europe, there are already 50 million people that are donating their blood. So if we are able to have 50 million people in Europe donating their own data, you can imagine that it would be an enormous source of data to work with and to research, that can contribute really to for the research in the medical fields. And with this one, I finish. Thank you very much.